When people think of Egyptian death masks, they often picture the beautiful and impressive golden masks of the likes of Tutankhamun. However, this kind was really only used by royalty. Most death masks were actually crafted from a material known as cartonnage. This usually consisted of either linen or papyrus that had been plastered over to shape it into the likeness of the deceased, almost like paper mache. Cartonnage was much cheaper than gold, but still incredibly durable. But, well, what was the purpose of the death mask? They were normally an idealised depiction of the deceased, but within a kind of divine state. In fact, the Book of the Dead tells us that it allowed the deceased to see through the eyes of a god. Then in spell 151 of the Book of the Dead, which was actually normally inscribed inside the mask itself, we see different aspects being linked to different gods. For example, it tells us that the crown of the head was Anubis, the back of the head was Horus, and the lock of hair was Ptah Sokar. The spell then goes on to talk from the perspective of the mask, and it reads thus: "You are in front of the deceased. He sees by means of you. You lead him in goodly ways." So there was a great emphasis on the mask giving the deceased vision as they travel through the afterlife. The spell then stresses that the mask repels evil. So, as we can see, the death mask was incredibly important to the Egyptians. Not only did it help to deify them in death, it also gave them vision and protected them from evil. Kind of like an ancient religious Swiss army knife. Want to know more? Check out the newest episode of the Mummy Movie Podcast.